With the newest update in Fallout 76 bringing the long awaited Caravan update, we also got a surprise and it brought us a diamond in the rough of a weapon. That's right, today we're talking about the V63 Carbine, also known as the best unique energy weapon in the game. Don't worry, getting your hands on this gem is a breeze and can be done within an hour, and in my opinion, is the main selling point of the entire Caravan update. Yeah, it's not the Caravan system, it's this gun. That's how good it is. So just a little prerequisite, but if you're watching this video, you probably already have this done. First, you'll need to complete the Bump in the Road quest, which is given to you after level 20, I believe. That's just how you start the entire Caravan system quest. Once that's done, you could start farming supplies for Caravan runs, and then, yeah, just go ahead and you need to get that out of the way first. So with that being said, here's a little step-by-step guide on what you need to do. First thing you need to do after you're able to farm up Caravan runs is go to Milepost 0. Go ahead and do enough Caravan runs to hire the ammo merchant Theo for 150 supplies. Then simply all you have to do is just farm enough supplies in order to upgrade Theo to level 2 for an additional 250 supplies. So in total, you're going to need 400 supplies. You get 100 for completing your first mission, and then if you do the large supply runs, you get 50 each time. Each supply run takes fucking 5 minutes. So if you're really slow, or even if you die or fail a couple, you should be able to get this entire thing done within 45 minutes. So basically, the only prerequisites that you have to do: complete the Bump in the Road quest that you get after level 20, and then just hire Theo the ammo merchant and level him up to level 2. That's all you have to do. Okay, now you're able to get this thing rocking and rolling. So once you've got Theo set up, talk to him about his time at Vault-Tec. After some dialogue and him explaining that he used to make weaponry for Vault-Tec, you will receive the side quest Unconventional Weaponry. Your next stop is Vault 63 to find this beautiful weapon schematics. It's really easy. You just have to go to, I think, the pharmacy or chemical department in Vault 63, and it's basically right there. You maybe have to kill 10 enemies on your entire way into the vault. Getting there inside of the vault and navigating in the vault is the more difficult part than actually taking down any enemies. That's literally all you have to do. So you open up the door, you find the weapon schematics. After retrieving the schematics, return to Theo to complete the quest. Once you finish, Theo will sell you all of the beautiful mods for this weapon. It's that easy. This quest takes about 15 minutes after you set it up and everything like that. The longest part of this is literally just getting the 400 supplies to get Theo and upgrade him to level 2. So in 15 minutes, you'll now have one of the best unique weapons, period, in the game, and the best unique energy weapon in the game. Plus, all the mods are super affordable, even for low-level players. I suggest you do this as soon as you possibly can. But speaking of those beautiful mods, let's get into each one and break them down. The V63 Carbine only has two mod categories, the capacitors and the stocks. So let's talk about the capacitor mods real quick. The cyclical capacitor decreases overclock rate, the extended capacitor increases ammo capacity, the insulated capacitor decreases cooldown rate, the overclocked capacitor increases damage, and the quick eject capacitor increases reload speed. So that's it for capacitors. We have 5 mods plus the standard one. Now into the second category, the stock mods. We only have 4 mods plus the standard, and that is the bruising stock, which increases stability, obviously, the forceful stock, which is the best one in my opinion, and it lowers AP cost, the stabilized stock, which increases stability but lowers VATS accuracy, and the standard stock, which increases aim speed and hipfire accuracy. It's really, really nice. There are a couple of different mod setups that you can use depending on how you're using this weaponry and how you're taking advantage of its unique effect that we're going to talk about in 1 second. So let's talk about the best setup that you can get for this gun. But before we talk about what mods I recommend using, let's talk about what makes this gun so special and its unique little gimmick. So, as I said earlier, one of the capacitors, the cyclical capacitor, decreases overclock rate. What is the overclock with this weapon? What does that mean? This weapon has a little bar that's going to be right above your ammo count and everything like that, and that's the overclock. When the overclock is filled, you will do 100% more damage. So basically, the longer you hold down the trigger and shoot enemies, the more damage your weapon will do. So it is better to use this thing as a spray and pray than it is as a VATS weapon, but it is still great in whatever sense you use it. So that's awesome for all you non-VATS players that just don't really want to use VATS and want to have a gun that will do more damage the fucking longer you hold down the trigger. So it's really nice, and I will see them definitely adding this to other weapons in the future, especially probably like a nice heavy plasma weaponry or something like that. I guarantee you in a future update, they're probably going to have this. This is a great mechanic. So, like I said, this weapon is great if you just want to aim at an enemy, hold down the trigger, and you'll do more damage the longer you hold down the trigger. That's why the bigger magazines for this gun are really sought after, because that's how you make the gun work the best. So overclock rate, basically just the longer you hold down the trigger and the more bullets that you put out, the more damage each shot is going to do, because that overclocked bar will be filled. So that's the whole gimmick with the gun. Now onto the recommended mod setup. Okay, so since the more ammo in the magazine, the better for this gun, obviously a lot of people are going to use the extended capacitor, and then a lot of people also will go with the standard stock or with the stabilized stock, just because of the hip fire and everything like that. So standard stock and extended capacitor, if you are not a VATS player, is really nice to use. I use that on my full health lazy heavy gunner build, and I just throw on a couple perks to increase the damage of rifles and science weapons, and it is fucking awesome. It does a decent amount of damage, and you could definitely tell if you have the extended capacitor on there how much more damage you're able to do once that overclocked is at 100% or 75%. Now, if you're not going to be using it like that, if you're going to use it like a normal VATS weapon, which is fine either way, seriously, that's how I'm using it in this video, and it works out completely fine. I'm able to kill enemies within 5 shots. You're going to want to use the overclocked capacitor for that essential damage boost, and then you're going to want to use the forceful stock to lower the AP cost and enhance durability. The AP cost for this weapon is pretty high because Bethesda, again, intended it to be a spray and pray hip fire weapon like a submachine gun, and not really like another fixer type weapon. So this weapon isn't really designed for VATS players. However, it still outputs enough damage with the overclocked capacitor to be worth using, in my opinion. This is just a fun gun. So those are the mod setups that I would go ahead and use. If you use a different set of mods, let me know in the comments, because I'm still trying to find out the best way to get the most DPS out of this gun. But speaking of DPS, let's talk about what legendary effects would be fucking perfect on this weapon. All right, now let's talk about the legendary effects, and let's just get this one out of the way because it's an obvious choice, and most people are going to go after this one because it's the meta build. Bloodied is an obvious choice, and while in the gameplay of this, I don't have it as bloodied. I believe I have it as a mutants because it's just the random roll that I rolled on it before I actually put some time into crafting the V63 Carbine that I'm going to use on my day-to-day. It is really great with bloodied on it. So in the video, you're seeing me use it with the, I believe, mutants effect, but the bloodied effect is just as nasty. If it's actually significantly better, I'm not gonna lie to you. It definitely becomes one of my throw-on guns when I got bloodied on it, and I use it really often. It's not one of the top 3 contenders in the game. Don't get me wrong; it's not a fixer or a railway, but I mean, it's definitely my top 10, and I'm definitely going to fuck around with it, especially because it's so new. But Bloody definitely does bring this gun kind of into the meta, and you're able to use it. I'm able to get 5 shots off in the video and kill a super mutant, but with the Bloody effect, I'm able to take them down in 2. So it's not really that bad, sometimes 3. But however, because of the overclocking gimmick, the quad effect is incredible for this weapon. The longer you shoot, the more damage your bullets deal, and quad just increases your magazine capacity quadruple. So you're able to output so much more DPS because of that larger magazine. You're able to have this gun overclocked basically for the entire time of you shooting it. If you have a quad effect, it really makes it shine on larger enemies like Marla Queens, or even those raid bosses like the Scorch Beast Queen, Earl, or any of the Giant 3 robots. So quad effect is definitely the one that I would go after. Me personally, I would have a quad explosive, and that would be the V63 Carbine. That would be ideal for me. But bloodied, quad, explosive, those are the 3 effects that you're going to want to get on this bad boy. So, just some final thoughts to tie together the video. Overall, the V63 Carbine is definitely worth your time, regardless of your level. I suggest you grab it. I've been using this thing for about the last week or so with the bloody defect, and it is really, really, really nice. I genuinely enjoy it. If you're a low level player, this weapon definitely will help you tackle tougher challenges in the game with ease. For higher level players, it's a fun addition to your arsenal that feels different from other weapons, and it's the first weapon in the game to have that overclocking gimmick effect, and it's really, really fun. They're probably going to use it on other weapons and make it better on other weapons, but hey, this is the prototype one, and they definitely did a good job with it. And on top of that, it's extremely versatile too. Whether you're using VATS or going for a hip fire motherfucking strategy, this gun excels at shredding basic mobs and holds its own against tougher enemies. So I definitely suggest gearing up and grabbing the V63 Carbine. It's extremely easy to get. It basically only costs you an hour and 15 minutes and 400 supplies, and then on top of that, all the mods you get for less than 10,000 caps. I think it costs like 5,000 or something like that max. So yeah, I definitely would overall recommend you use this gun. If you're a veteran player and you're a VATS player, it's not going to replace your fixer, it's not going to replace your railway, and it's not going to replace your cremator or anything like that.